Now I'm back again with another video, and then I'm just gonna pretty much make my playoff predictions of teams I feel is going to basically I'm gonna basically predict the playoffs because there's a lot of good competition. I definitely this is definitely an exciting season. There's a lot of different changes. We've seen some players come back like Klay Thompson. That's made a difference. I like the direction it's going because this is definitely a young league, it's a way younger league, and we're gonna get right into it. Now, I'm not gonna be spending no time on the rebuilding teams. So, like for example, team like the reason why I got the Lakers right here at the bottom because they're basically done. That team is that team has to rebuild. I don't. They're not gonna be. They're not gonna be able to compete in the playing tournament. I'm gonna tell you that now. The Spurs are already better than them, and the Spurs are already like 2 or 3 games behind. They like 2 or 3 games behind New Orleans. Okay, so I'm not gonna be like we all know these teams is they're rebuilding. What I'm saying, they're the weakest teams in the league. However, I'm gonna the teams right here in this potential next season, they get an honorary mention of the Wizards. Now, there's rumor that Bradley Beal might leave. He may not stay. He might be headed to Philadelphia, which will help Embiid and James Harden out a lot. But if he decides to stay, I mean, all this team needs is continue to develop. And they just need another superstar down there. Unfortunately, Spencer Dewey didn't work. They did, however, trade for Porzingis. We'll see how Porzingis does in Washington. Since he really didn't do much in Dallas, it just didn't work out over there. Hachimura is definitely getting better. They have Kyle Kuzma. That's the dude now. He can finally be a franchise player over there. They did trade Montrez, however. But they traded Montrez, and they don't have Dewey, but they still got Caldwell Pope. So, no, Washington, they're heading in the right direction. I wish that's where Russell Westbrook should have stayed. Now, if Russell Westbrook would have stayed on this team here with Bradley Beal, that would have been way better for him than the Lakers. So if he was on Washington right now, the Wizards would be like right here. They'll literally make it. They'll be like right there. Like, I'm not gonna put them in conference finals, but they'll be right there with Russell Westbrook. But because of that, no, like it's just he chose the Lakers. He wanted to be traded over there. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry about that, y'all. Like it's crazy, Laker fans, and I'm not trying to hate on them. Y'all know how I feel about them, but that's just it, man. Like I'm sorry, but yeah, now Knicks, Julius Randle, you got Evan Fournier, RG Barrett is great. They got a nice big man. They're not a bad team. I do like Cam Reddish. I like that pick a lot. That trade. They traded Knox for Cam Reddish. I mean, it's Tom Thibodeau, so Tom Thibodeau still got to get it going. Derrick Rose is definitely not a spring chicken anymore, but he can still play. I mean, yeah, the Knicks just need a couple more pieces, but they're right there. They'll get back to the playoffs. It might not be this year because they took a pounding. But yeah, the Knicks are not bad far off. If they could pull a big name free agent, they'll be back to being a contender. And y'all already know how I feel about the Spurs. I told y'all, Greg Popovich got to retire. Even R.C. Buford, like that. I'm sorry, the management is not working. They're going to have to change their management around. They're going to need a new GM. They might get a new president. And they need a completely different coaching staff. I told you before, it's time to let somebody like Tim Duncan or even Manu Ginobili take over the team. Possibly Tony Parker, Becky Hammond. He let one of those guys take over. But Pop needs to go. Pop needs to retire. Okay, like the dream is over. There's no more. Your championship days is over. There's no more Duncan. No, there's no more big three. Those days are over. It. Okay, they need Dante Murray is probably the only watchable guy over there. Just to be honest, he's the only thing close to a superstar they really got because everybody else is still like they either just trying to develop or they haven't gotten there yet. Because Derek White is still not that player. It hasn't working out. So San Antonio might want to trade and get some pieces because it's hard for them to land a free agent. It's just hard in San Antonio. Now, let's get into the playing tournament teams because these are teams that's gonna basically competing for the playoffs. Now, as for New Orleans, they're not gonna beat the. This is basically count New Orleans out. I'm gonna put them down here. I mean, even though New Orleans is in the playing tournament, they're not gonna beat the Clippers. Let's just call it for what it is. You're not beating this Clipper team. For those of you who don't know, Paul George just came back, okay, and for missing a lot of games. But Paul George put up a significant amount of numbers. That man came back and dropped 34 points. So the Clippers are there, man. Like they're and not to mention against the Bucks, Amir Coffey, who's pretty much the Tayshaun Prince, he dropped 32. Robert Covington had the biggest game of his career this season, which is 43 points. Luke Kennard is 23. Luke Kennard is a consistent three-point shooter. That's basically that Kyle Korver. So yeah, and then Reggie Jackson's playing his best basketball. Like this year and last year has been Reggie Jackson's like best. He's on the best team he's played on. I'm gonna keep it real. Terrence Mann got potential. You got Hartenstein, which is has been a reliable backup big man. Right, Zubac, Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris. This team got pieces. Oh yeah, Norman Powell's gonna be coming back too. Now Norman Powell might come back before the playoffs. If they can at least get Norman Powell, Paul George, that'll be deadly. So yeah, man. Like to be very honest, New Orleans is not gonna beat the Clippers. They're not. The Clippers gonna contend. They're gonna get that A seed. Now as for Charlotte and Atlanta has took a hit. There's problems in Atlanta. Okay. I don't want to put the blame on Nate McMillan because he did get them to Eastern Conference Finals, but they should have kept Cam Reddish. They screwed up. Clint Capella is having a down year. That's the problem. Maybe that this team is just not. Gallinari to me is just Gallinari need to go. Gallinari's gotten too much malice. He's not that consistent because you already got you got Bogdanovich. You really don't need Gallinari there. So that like Trae Young is still gonna ball. But I don't see them beating Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn's going to make it in. Charlotte and LaMelo Ball is pretty much their Luka Doncic, basically. Let's just call it for what it is. He did go the international route. And I'm going to give LeVar Ball his flowers. The man basically did what he had to do to get his sons, at least two of them, into the NBA. Technically, Jello did get drafted. Jello was also drafted and picked up by, he wasn't drafted, but he was picked up by Michael Jordan. So Jello Khalid said he did get some action in the summer league, but Lonzo and Zoe and LaMelo they in. So yeah, I'm gonna give LeVar Ball his flowers. He got his sons in there officially. We'll see how they do. But they LaMelo Ball. I like where the Hornets is headed. They're heading in the right direction. You got Scary Terry at the 2. You still got Gordon Hayward. Then you still got Bismack Biyombo over there, and then you also have Mikal Bridges. They're not a bad team. They're definitely playing some competitive basketball, but I say Brooklyn is going to get that A seed for my prediction. I think they sneak in the play-in tournament, but it's not looking good for Brooklyn. Now, I'm going to say this now. Brooklyn's going to lose. They're going to lose in the first round because they're not going to survive Miami. Miami got too much heat going over there. I do mean that figuratively. They got too many shooters. You still got they still got their core 4 that was in that finals against the Lakers 2 years ago in that pandemic championship, right? With Tyler Hero, you still got Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Buckets is there. Jimmy Butler's there, of course. They star superstar, and he's up there for MVP. If there's even then, man, I understand that Embiid and John Morant are the favorite. Everybody's in love with John Morant, but Jimmy Butler would deserve to get MVP. I'm gonna be very honest. Yes, Giannis could get it again for a third time. Because I'm not knocking Giannis is sensational. This is definitely his Eastern Conference, but Jimmy Butler does deserve to get MVP. The man team has been a first seeded team. This man has remained consistent all season. Jimmy Butler has proved that he could be a legendary player. He's shown himself to be a Hall of Fame player. Like we just gotta give Jimmy Butler his just respect. I like what that man is doing in Miami. Especially after LeBron and Wade and Bosh, all these guys have left. He's took up the mantle. And then on top of that, again, man, like this, I don't see Brooklyn beating that team. They're just it's Eric Spoelstra at the end. That's the problem, man. Steve Nash is only in his second year, and already it's just the problem with Brooklyn. I'm gonna just tell you this now: Kyrie Irving screwed up that team, big time. Okay, and I even did a video on that. I went live on that on my IG, man. Like Kyrie Irving, I understand how you felt about the mandate, but you put your team in a hole, and then it got to the point to where James Harden just couldn't take it no more. And this is because I'm telling you, man, James Harden is serious. He's tired of losing. That man wants a championship ring before he retires. I'm be very honest. James Harden realizes he's only going to get older. And the league is only going to get younger. The clock is ticking for him. Right? He's trying to do what Durant did and get him a ring. That's why Harden chose to get traded to the Sixers. He forced that trade. And I'll be honest, man, I would never took Ben Simmons. I'm sorry, man. Ben Simmons is the worst player, dude. Ben Simmons does not. The problem with Ben Simmons, he's not a guard. Now they got Seth Curry. Seth Curry, you can start him at the 1. I would start Seth Curry at the 1, Kyrie at the 2, and then have Durant at the 3, and that could actually work out. You got Blake at the 4, and you already got a big man down there. You got LaMarcus Aldridge, and you got Paul Millsap that can also play the 4 or 5 if you need him to. So, yeah, man, it's not a bad team. It's just a Steve Nash. Steve Nash don't got experience coaching. Steve Nash may have the same problem that Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas had, right? There are certain players that are Hall of Fame talent. They're players in the league. They're in as far as their player career, they're excellent. But as far as coaching, they're terrible. So that could be just what Isaiah Thomas is going. Like that could be just what Steve Nash, is going through. He may have the same problems as Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson. He's just not that good of a coach. But yeah, I say Nets, as far as the playing tournament, they're gonna get the A seed. These two teams are gonna get the A seed. I'm just gonna call it now. Atlanta's not gonna beat Brooklyn, not with Durant there. Especially when Kyrie Irving's playing, because the mandate's now over. He can now play. With Kyrie Irving, Durant, and Seth Curry, with Blake, and then you got Joe Harris off the bench. No, they are not gonna do that. Atlanta got issues right now. So yeah, that's pretty much a playing tournament. Now, we're gonna get to these contending teams, and we're gonna start off with Milwaukee. Milwaukee, to be all honest, man, like this is the defending champions. They retain most of their championship core. You know, Middleton, Jrue Holiday. Giannis is your MVP and he's your former 2-time league MVP, but now he's a champion for the first time. You still got Brook Lopez, DiVincenzo, and you got Bobby Portis Jr. Like they didn't really lose too much. The only notable guy they lost was PJ Tucker, but PJ Tucker is good, but he's like again, man, like they still got their guys. I'm putting them like right here. They can run it back again. Let's take a look at their roster. So they're currently 48. You see, they're right under the Heat. They're gonna get that second seed. Cause I'm be honest, like Boston, I don't see Boston doing it, man. It's Giannis. Even though they just lost to the Clippers, they're trying to rest their team. Yeah, they're gonna get I say they get the second seed. Let's look at their team. Let's look at their team. Let's look at the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's see what they got in their roster. Yeah, so look at that, man. These guys. Now, Grayson Allen, this was actually a good pickup. Believe it or not, Grayson Allen can ball. Yeah, he's had a rough start, but the man can still do damage. I'm not gonna knock Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen is actually a good shooter. Serge Ibaka, that's gonna be a factor. Ibaka has a chance to get him another ring. And the Clippers basically did that just as a favor. Because the problem with Ibaka is that he's kind of wore down in his career. He's had a lot of injuries for a big man. I mean, he's kind of has a lot of mileage. He has more of an injury problem than Durant. Like his body, he can't play as well as Durant and Durant, Westbrook, and Harden them can. You know, he don't have the injury no more, but the man can still do something for you. Ibaka can still play defense. He can still rebound. These two together works out well. You still got Bobby Portis. Biombo is not bad neither. But you still got this guy here. Now, I don't see Jimmy. Yeah, I think DiVincenzo was gone. That's right, he's gone. But again, you got Javon Carter can ball up. This is another Patrick Beverly. You still got your veteran guards, Wesley Matthews and Wesley Matthews could pay the 2 and 3. You still got George Hill. They're still solid. You know, this team ain't really lost much, man. They can still ball, and then Budenholzer, again, he's finally champion. He did that, so yeah, man. Give a lot of credit to the Bucks here. They can run it back again. So I got them running back. They can repeat. They can repeat. I don't really see them getting to the conference finals there, because be honest, there's not too many teams beating them. The only challenge is gonna probably be Miami. I don't see Boston doing it at all. Because the problem with Boston is that Boston chokes. They've choked the last 5 years. Boston has been to 2 Eastern Conference Finals, and they choked every last one of them. I understand Boston's right under them, and you gotta understand the team they currently have. That's the team that Danny Ainge built, that Brad Stevens just inherited. The only player that that Brad Stevens basically signed that's notable worthy is Dennis Schroeder, but they're not gonna beat Bucks. Not even Chicago. The problem with Chicago is that team is playing together for the first time. They play good too, but no, Milwaukee's still better than the majority of these teams. See, I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna have them running it back again, as far as my prediction. Next up, Raptors. I'm gonna put Toronto in here. First round team. They could potentially get to the second round, but it's gonna be a long shot. And the way they're seated right now, they got Philly. Yeah, they got Philly. They're gonna lose. They got Philadelphia. You gotta go against Embiid and Harden. They're gonna lose, but again, Scotty Barnes has a chance to be It's not a bad team. And let's see. Let's look at the Raptors. I mean, one thing about Nick Nurse, he can coach some really good basketball. Let's take a look at Toronto. Pascal Siakam is the dude now. He's officially a man. Him and Van Vliet. Van Vliet has now became a Kyle Lowry. Yeah, Van Vliet and Pascal Siakam are pretty much the replacement for Lowry and DeRozan. And then Thaddeus Young is good. He can still ball. He's a solid journeyman. Let's see who else know about Manga. Manga, if you give him a chance, Manga is actually effective, man. The dude is 6'8", that could play the point guard and the 3. That's very effective. Like I said, Scotty Barnes, he's up there with Evan Mobley for MVP. Rookie of the year. Excuse me. Rookie of the year. He's up there for Rookie of the year. The MVP of the rookies, he's up there. This guy is good too. This dude came from the Sixers, I think. Yeah, that guy is good there. Young team. Utah wannabe is also solid. Very young team. Gary Trent Jr. is a shooter. That's another one that's been keeping him in the game. Gary Trent Jr. This is like their 6th man. Oh yeah, he's in between starting and 6th man, but yeah. Gary Trent Jr. can hit. So yeah, it's a very young team, dude. Like they got young. One thing about Nick Nurse, he knows how to work with these young guys. Okay, they have an excellent GM. Yeah, young team, but they're not gonna beat the Sixers. If the way it's seeded, they're not gonna beat Philadelphia. But again, it's not bad. It's a start. They took last year to rebuild. They're back in contention. Utah, I'm gonna put them right here. They're a second round team. Let's look at Utah. Yeah, Jazz, second round team. They could beat Denver, no doubt. Remember, this is Denver that still doesn't have Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr., which is, again, they're not going to go any further. Yeah, as great as Nikola Jokic is, he's last year's MVP. Without Jamal Murray, especially Michael Porter Jr., who's an X factor, you're not going to go any further. Okay, they were banged up last year. They had a lot of help. Now, Will Barton came back. He's going to be interested in the playoffs, but no, man, you're not going to beat this Utah Jazz team. They actually has most of their guys there. The problem with the Jazz is the same problem with Boston. They choke. Right? But let's look at who they are. Let's look at their team. Let's take a look at the Jazz. Let's take a look at Dwayne Wade's Utah Jazz. Shouts out to D Wade, by the way. He's the owner of this team. Okay, so they just lost to Golden State. That's expected. Clarkson, this guy's one of the best 6 men in the league. Conley is a veteran. Now, Mike Conley is just kind of one. He's another player that's kind of on his way out. He's kind of he's on the downhill of his career. Okay, the problem with Conley, they need Conley to at least give him 23, 24. He's not going to be doing that no more. The most Conley's going to probably give you is maybe in between, I'm going to say 17 and maybe 20. But again, like Conley, the best Conley could do is in between, I'm going to say 13 and 17, just be realistically. He's just not the same guy. I mean, he can still come through in the clutch if wide open, but he's not the same player he once was. Like he's another player that's just kind of like he's going downhill. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but the man had some surgery recently. He's this older guy. Remember, Mike Conley been playing since around 2007, 2008. This guy's he's one of the Jerry West Memphis Grizzlies. He's part of that last Memphis Grizzlies team that went to the Western Conference. And I'm gonna talk about them too. Hassan Whiteside, this is a decent big man. Yeah, Hassan is definitely not what he used to be in his first 4 years in the league, but he'll still rebound for you. He'll still play some defense. Gobert, one of the he's a top 10 big man. The Spider Mitchell will put up his points. Rudy Gay is another player. Like Mike Conley, Rudy Gay again. Like he's an older guy. See, this is the problem with Utah. They got a lot of old. This guy, he's not much help at this point. So yeah, Memphis. What Utah need to do, they need the Eric Pascal is good. I like this dude. They need to start using Eric Pascal a lot more. What Grassstein is gonna have to do is going to really put some points around Eric. He's gonna have to make plays around Eric Pascal if you want to have a chance. Because Royce O'Neal is also a good defender. Trent Forrest has been doing his thing as a young man. I like Daniel House a lot. Daniel House is another one that can play some defense. They're gonna have to play shutdown D. I like Xavier Sneed too. He was a nice draft pick. But yeah, Clarkson is gonna have to be the dude. Clarkson and Mitchell, they're gonna have to really bear down. Okay, they're gonna have to really focus. If the Jazz want to have a chance to get to Western Conference Finals, it's got to be either Clarkson, Gobert, and Mitchell. It's got to be these three. Because Clarkson pretty much leads their bench. All right, he leads the bench. Him, and you're going to have a big game from Whiteside. Whiteside is going to have to step up big time. Okay, because Eric Pascal go do it. If anything, you need Eric Pascal. I will start Eric Pascal, to be honest. Bogdanovich, I'll put him at the leave Bogdanovich on the bench. But this dude, if you get Pascal the ball, he's gonna ball out for you. He's basically another Draymond Green, pretty much. Now Greg Monroe, he's just there to give him the look, just to fill in. Don't expect much for Greg Monroe, but it's primarily these three: Clarkson, Gobert, and Mitchell. They're gonna have to be your main three scorers. And if you wonder where Joe Ingles is pretty much out for the season. He has an ACL injury. You reap what you sow. That man injured Kawhi Leonard last year on purpose. Now look at him now. Azubuike is not bad neither. That's like their he's pretty much like their Andrew Bynum, basically. But yeah, it's got to be these three. Boggs, he'll give you at least 21 off the bench. Boggs and Clarkson, these two is good, but primarily these three. Because I don't expect much from Rudy. Conley and Rudy Gay are pretty much done. They're like Ray John Rondo. These guys are pretty much on their way out. They've been playing the league well over 12, 13 seasons. They're done. Don't expect much from them going into the playoffs. Right? They'll do okay, but they're not that good. So yeah, their second round team. Bulls. Bulls won't put them like right here. One of the funnest teams to watch this season. Let's look at where the Bulls is currently at. Yeah, 6th round. They're 6 seed. 6-seeded team, excuse me. They're playing the Boston Celtics. They could potentially pull up the upset. I'm gonna tell you that now. Chicago may be the trap game. Boston, I actually want to see that because for those who have seen Boston and Chicago, that's always a rival. That's one of the best rivalries in NBA history. And I'm talking about the days of Larry Bird versus Michael Jordan. And then later on, when I was in my college days, you had Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and you had Garnett versus you had Ray Allen and Paul Pierce and Rondo versus Derrick Rose, Ben Gordon, and John Salmons. Those guys. When it was a 7-game series, it went to a double overtime. Like you seen from Portland and Denver, that's how Chicago and Boston was back in the day. Like around 2009, 08, 09. I'm going to say this now. I say Chicago's going to pull off the upset. Because at this stage of the game, the problem with Tatum and Brown, these guys, for some reason, they need another veteran. The Boston doesn't have enough veterans over there. That's the problem with them. Things failed with Kyrie Irving. The problem with Tatum and Brown, these guys are just they have trouble closing out games. They choke. Boston's starting to become the Green Bay Packers of the NBA. Yeah, they have one of the best regular season teams. They'll get to the Eastern Conference Finals and they just fail. So that's the issue, man. Like let's say if Chicago does put them out, expect Jaylen Brown to be traded. Now you got Dennis Schroeder, but again, like Zach LaVine is gonna give them problems. You got DeRozan over there. Let's look at that team. really cool. Let's look at the Bulls. Let's look at the Bulls. Let's see what we working with them. Because I like where the Bulls are set up. I really like the moves that's made. The Bulls have had one of the best off seasons. Okay, they just got shut out by Miami. That was a tough game. Let's see what we're working with here. Lonzo's having the best career of his This is a comeback season for Lonzo. These two was a match made in heaven. These two are like, I'm not gonna say they're like the Splash Brothers, but there's something similar. There's something close because Lonzo has been hitting threes. Yeah, put this guy at the 2. He's been I don't agree with him being a small forward. If anything, Derrick Jones needs to be the small forward. This guy's more of a shooting guard. These two at the 2. DeRozan need to go at the 3. I know he's at power forward, but he plays better at the 3. But again, it's working. It's fun. Caruso can ball out. Okay, that's their 6-man Caruso. They finally got a big man in Nikolai Vucevic. Patrick Williams has really stepped up. I like Derrick Jones Jr. That man can ball out. Javonte Green is good. But Kobe White is another one you got to watch out for. Kobe White and Caruso are very dangerous. Do not leave Kobe White or Caruso open. This is who the Lakers should have kept. They screwed up big time. Now Tristan Thompson is still a big body. Now Tristan Thompson's there to give them rebounding. That's all. That's it, and to give them blocks if he can get in there. But yeah, I like this team. Yeah, these 4 here, man, they've been putting in work. I believe these guys could upset the Boston Celtics because the Boston Celtics they're gonna need a tune-up. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they may have to split up like David Lillard and McCollum just did this season. It's not working out with those two. I'm gonna go Chicago in that series. And I'm not trying to hate on. I'm not trying to be biased or nothing. I'm not trying to hate on Boston. I respect Boston, but this team can upset them. DeMar DeRozan, you see how he played against the Clippers that one game. This dude comes off in the clutch. And DeMar, like James Harden, he knows his time is running out. That man trying to win the championship. Okay, so if he puts out the Boston Celtics, watch out. But yeah, I'm gonna put them right here. They're gonna make it to the second round, but I think that'll be as far as they go. Now Minnesota, they're a contender. They're right here. Let's check out the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're a 7 seed. Yeah, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose to if they gotta play Memphis, they're gonna lose. But I give them that credit. Glenn Taylor, man, like he ain't like for what the team he's got and have to work with. This is actually not bad. This is a start. And I understand that the Timberwolves may not be called Timberwolves for much longer. They may be moving out of Minnesota because the team is up for sale. But for the fans of Minnesota, this gives them a little bit of hope. Okay, because even though they're not going to go any further, their first round exit. Let's see what they're working with. At least they got something to cheer for. At least Minnesota got something to watch since the Vikings have failed last year as far as their football team. Yeah, they schedule is winnable too. Yeah, they're gonna secure that 7 seed. This guy here, Anthony Edwards, one of the best draft picks they gotten since Zach LaVine and Kevin Garnett. Very good guy. That's your dude. That's the leading scorer of that team. Karl-Anthony Towns make the All-Star game. He can hit threes. Like Karl-Anthony Cat is pretty much up there with Joel Embiid and Jokic. He's one of these new age big men. Pat Beverly, we all know how he could get down. There's not much to explain about Pat Beverly. Malik Beasley is also not bad. So again, like I said, a lot of young guys. Torrent Prince, he'll do something for you. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they play against Memphis because this will be a first-time matchup. That's another thing too, man. These guys are going against Memphis for the first time. For the first time, we see Memphis and Minnesota. So that's another matchup I like to see. I like to see teams. I like to see first-time matchups. When I watch these players, I want to see teams I'm not used to seeing. Right? That's how I like, man. I like to see some new teams in there. But I think Memphis beat them. But it's definitely gonna be fun. I say it'll go to 6 games. Cause remember, Memphis is this their first time in the playoffs too. But D'Lo, look for this guy to be the dude. If the Timberwolves want to make a statement and upset the Memphis Grizzlies, then D'Angelo Russell is gonna have to he's been here longer than John Morant. He's gonna have to be the guy. Him and Cat. These two are gonna have to try to. They're gonna have to channel Shaq and Kobe, or Shaq and This is gonna have to be Penny Hardaway. He's gonna have to be Shaq. That's the only way this team gonna have a chance to really make noise and give themselves some light. But I give the Minnesota Timberwolves they credit. They finally are contending again. Last time this team was in the playoffs when you had Wiggins and Butler, and that didn't go too well at all. And I was Tom Thibodeau getting embarrassed. But they made the playoffs. But yeah, they're first round exit. They're not gonna go any farther. Denver, right here. Yeah, Denver's a first round exit. I mean, ain't much to really explain about Denver. Again, solid team. Very solid team indeed. Again, their main problem is, again, it's the health. Jamal Murray, look like Jamal Murray's going through the same problem as Klay Thompson went through. You need that guy in the you need that guy for them to be effective. Without Jamal Murray, especially Michael Porter Jr., who proved himself to be a formidable player, they're not gonna get to the championship. They're not gonna get back to the Western Conference Finals. Because Jeff Green is an older guy. Austin Rivers, again, these guys are getting older. Again, Jokic is an MVP. He's the best big man in the league. I like Aaron Gordon too. Now Aaron Gordon has been keeping him in the game. Aaron Gordon and Jokic, these two are gonna have to really for the Nuggets to survive, they're gonna have to rely on Gordon and Jokic. They're gonna have to play bully ball inside the paint. Because they're not gonna, again, as far as their backcourt is taking a hit. This guy is still hurt, and Jamal Murray is still it's a serious injury. Now Monte Morris, again, he's questionable. Okay, like Monte Morris can ball out, but again, he's not Murray. He's under a lot of pressure right now. Because Austin Rivers is okay. You know, Austin Rivers will give you maybe 12 to 15, depending on if he has a good night. And everybody else we need to see more of. They're still developing. Jermichael Green is also not bad either. He's a good defensive player. Now, Boogie can still play. Boogie might be interesting. Like I said, if I'm Denver, right, I'm going to basically put, this is what they need to do. Start Boogie at the 4. No, actually start Yuki at the 4. Boogie at the 5. Okay? Put Aaron Gordon at the 3. Aaron Gordon can play the small forward position. Okay? They need to put those 3 in just so they can have defense. Because Boogie and Nikola Jokic, that gives you big bodies. Again, that's like when you had Zach Randolph and you had Marc Gasol. That actually worked. Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol got that team to the Western Conference Finals because of defense alone. Right? Have these 3 in there. Have Aaron Gordon at the 3, Nikolai at the 4, and Boogie at the 5 to pretty much slow teams down. And then what you do is you let Monte Morris and Will Barton cook. Because one thing about Monte Morris, he's fast. Now, Will Barton is a veteran guard. He does know how to Will Barton knows how to get his points. So he is going to contribute. Will Barton's going to give you maybe 18, maybe in between 18 to maybe 22. Okay, so Will Barton, he's not that much of a scorer. He's not a high scorer, but he will contribute. Now, Jeff Green is I don't expect much from him at all. But yeah, that's pretty much it. They need to start Aaron Gordon at the 3. Let Aaron Gordon be the guy. Aaron Gordon is going to have to really, really, really be the dude. Because, again, they got to play extra because this guy is still young. Nyshawn is still young. Okay, this him and this guy here, Campazzo, again, these guys are still developing. That's the thing. But, yeah, and you don't have Michael Porter Jr. to make it easier for you. So, start Boogie at the 5, this guy at the 4, with Aaron Gordon at the 3, and just bully teams inside the paint. With them 3 in there, dude, like I said, you can control the paint because you have extra rebound. You're not going to out-rebound Boogie. A fully healthy Boogie Cousins, you're not going to out-rebound. That way they can set screens. That's one thing about Denver. They can set screens pretty well. They know how to trap you. Because this guy, Monte, could get open. And again, that's what they need to do. Set screens so Will Barton can come in there and then open the door for Monte Morris. And Austin Rivers can't hit the 3. Austin Rivers could do a little something for you. But that's the only way I see Coach Malone even surviving right now. But again, in order for them to get to the finals, you need Murray back. And Murray is just, again, he can't come back. He has, like I said, he's pretty much hurt like he's hurt like Kawhi Leonard. They can't come back. So Murray might be out this year too. So yeah, don't expect Jamal Murray to come back. He might not come back at all. I'm just being honest. And that's just my honest opinion. Jamal Murray might as well just stay out for the rest of this year and come back next season 100%. Next up, Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis, I'm gonna put them up here. I wanna put them in the conference finals. Let's do that. I think this team has the strongest chance of going. I'm gonna give them a shot because this team has a chance to do what the Cincinnati Bengals just did in the NFL. You don't know too much about them. This team has went 20-3 without John Morant playing. Okay, let's check out the Memphis Grizzlies because right now they're the fan favorite. Yeah, they just beat the Bucks. They just beat the Pacers. So again, they own pace, but let's check them out, right? Morant, I say he gets MVP. I understand Embiid deserves it too, but the fact that John Morant is in his third season, and Memphis, and let the record show, the Grizzlies have never been a second seed at all in franchise history. And we going from the days when they were in Vancouver, when they were an expansion team in the '90s, all the way to the time when they moved to Memphis and drafted Pau Gasol. They were never a second seeded team. John Morant is like Derrick Rose, who just with a better jumper. So yeah, this is the man right now. This is a guy everybody's fearing. Yeah, Minnesota gonna have their work cut out for them. They might sweep Minnesota. I say they sweep Minnesota. Like I said, I don't see Minnesota. Now as I think about it, I don't see Minnesota beating them. That might be a sweep. They can sweep Minnesota potentially. This man here was one of the better big men. I say Steven Adams is like top 5. Rebounding, right? He has some good offense. His offense improved. He's actually shooting threes now. This guy here is pretty much their Aaron Gordon. If John Morant's Derrick Rose, this guy's your pretty much your Ben Gordon. And I told everybody this like 2 years ago. I told y'all that the Memphis Grizzlies has potential. This is your Aaron Gordon. Jaren Jackson, this guy here is pretty much Kyle Anderson is pretty much Joakim Noah. Well, this guy here is your Tyrese Thomas. Yeah, he's like your he's like the Tyrese Thomas. Yeah, they're the 2008, they're the 2007, 2008 Chicago Bulls. They're the Chicago Bulls when they had Vinny Del Negro. They could fight you to the bitter end. Tyrese Jones is on a way better team. You see how much better Tyrese Jones is playing now. He's surrounded by a good front office. DeAndre Melton is another good player. He's another one that's improved greatly. See, I like this team. Again, young guys you know much about. Like Brandon Clark been on the radar, man. Tyrese Jones, these guys are good. These guys are balling. Yeah, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. They could definitely beat Dallas. They could beat Dallas with no. Let's look at that. Let's look at the way it's going. They're a second seed. Okay, they could potentially sweep this team here. They'll sweep them, and they could beat Utah. They could beat any one of these teams. I'm gonna tell you now. They could definitely beat the Jazz. Quite simply because of speed. Donovan Mitchell gonna be on the problem with the Jazz. They lost to the Clippers last year. The Memphis Grizzlies is dangerous than the Clippers because they fully healthy. Again, the Jazz ain't gonna have too much scouting on them. Yeah, I say they're gonna get to the Western Conference Finals, but they could also lose. Don't get me wrong. Now, Utah can still beat them. They can still get got. Even the Mavericks. But the problem with the Mavericks again, like Doncic, that's the problem. If you can shut down everybody, like the only problem with Dallas, they're flawed. They're majorly flawed. And let the record show, Jason Kidd is not a good playoff coach. In the playoffs, Jason Kidd fails as a head coach. I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, I don't know if Jason Kidd was necessarily the right head coach for that team. Yes, they're a 4 seed, but again, Jason Kidd, as far as like really with his decision making and trying to win the playoffs, that man chokes. The man choked when he was in Brooklyn, and he choked when he was when he had Giannis and Chris Middleton together. Okay, even though Milwaukee was a young team, but again he choked. The man was a disappointment and got fired both times after one season. But we'll see how Jason Kidd does. That is his championship team, so it's nice to see him back on his the team he won a championship. But we'll see. But yeah, I say Memphis could beat the majority of these teams. They could definitely beat my Clippers. They'll handle this team pretty easy. They could definitely beat Utah or Denver. Yeah, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, I'm gonna give them that opportunity. Next up on the list, Dallas. Right here. Yeah, Dallas, again, man. They can't get out the second round at all. They can't beat the Clippers. That's for one. Now, they're not gonna have to worry about the Clippers. They may not have to worry about the Clippers this year necessarily, but they're right here in fourth. They got to play Utah. Utah is gonna beat them. I'm gonna tell you that now. I say I got Utah beating them. Utah got the deepest to beat them, as you can see. Because the only problem with Dallas is, again, Doncic has to be. Doncic is the only one they really lean on. They lean too much on Doncic. Now, Spencer Dinwiddie was not bad at all. That was actually not a bad trade because they needed another guard. But yeah, these guys are the only two factors I can see really doing something. During Philly, he'll do a little bit of something. But the problem with Tim Hardaway is just too up and down. I'm sorry, man. Right type of defense, Tim Hardaway is just like cold. Yeah, that's the problem. None of these guys, they need one more other guy. They need another veteran. They need another superstar free agent. Like if they could get Bradley Beal down there, then they could do something. Because Bradley Beal was supposed to do anything, and this guy here, that's effective. Because you can easily put Doncic at the 3. Doncic could play. He can play 4 positions. Now, this Boban is good. Bob's is good. Okay, he like rebound and defense. He'll play. Like I like him a lot, but David Bertans, this is the guy's also a dangerous shooter. I think one of the main reasons why that team is in 4th place because of Bertans. Bertans can do something. Bertans is pretty much like another Michael Porter Jr. or like a Hachimura. He's one of the best European players out there with Doncic. Yeah, Bertans and Doncic, that's interesting. But everybody's over here, no. Josh Green, no. Keebler, no. Again, the way the Clippers beat them 2 years in a row, it's like, again, man, it's just they need another guy. Yeah, Utah's going to beat them. They're first round exit. Even though this team has got to the second round 2 years in a row, yeah, let's put them right here. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're worthy of being in the second round, but yeah, I don't see them beating Utah. I don't, man. Like, that's just me. I just don't see it. Yeah, that's just me, man. Like, yeah, they're first round exit. Yeah, just only because it's Jason Kidd. You up against Dan. Yeah, that's another thing, man. Kidd, I'm sorry, man. I've seen Jason Kidd. You know, I see Jason Kidd just like in the playoffs just choke. Like he just failed in first round matchups. You up against Dan Snyder. Snyder knows how to win games. Yeah, let's just do it like that. Yeah, they're like right there. Yeah, they're not gonna get out the second round. They're not gonna make it the second round. Utah beats them. If they gotta place Utah in the first round, they're gonna lose. But that's gonna, of course, go to. I say that goes to Game 7. That's gonna be 7 games too. That's gonna be a 7-game series. Yeah, Doncic a bad boy. Don't get me wrong. Now I'm not taking nothing from Doncic, but the problem with Luka Doncic, they rely on him too much. They need another guy. Phoenix up here. I'm be honest. These two teams can run it back. We might be getting a rematch. And I say that for the only reason because again, this team is 62. This is the best the Phoenix Suns have had. They come off of a season where they went to the finals. And even without Chris Paul, they don't even need him. They got all these younger guys. They got all these younger talent. They retain most of their core. Most of their most of their playoff guys, right? Bridges can ball out. You got Cameron Johnson. Again, excellent backup. Devin Booker's the man in there. Cameron Payne, again, for a lefty, clutch shooter. One of the best clutch shooters in the league. Oh yeah, I forgot. Now, yeah, they acquired this guy. So you got Aaron Holiday, Landry Shamet. They're loaded. They got the best bench. JaVale McGee has a chance to win another ring. Let the record show JaVale McGee has 3 championship rings. 2 with Golden State, 1 with the Lakers. He has a chance to get a 4th one with Phoenix. They may return. They can run it back. They can definitely run it back. And I know my Clippers are going to face them in a rematch, but without Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers are not going to beat that Phoenix Suns team. And I love my Clippers, but again, like I say, the Clippers may get 2 games out of it. At least 1 game. The Phoenix may beat them 4-1. And we'll see. Because again, the Clippers can fight you to the bitter end. But the thing about Phoenix, they can't let the Clippers push them in Game 7. If the Clippers are able to force a Game 7 on Phoenix, it's going to be bad. Right? The Phoenix can't afford a drawn-out series. Especially when there's pressure on them. But yeah, they're a contender. They're the defending Western Conference champions. They got 62 wins. This is the best this is a way better team than when they had Steve Nash. Way better. They're better than the Steve Nash days. This team is up there with the Charles Barkley Suns. Definitely. Yeah, they can run it back. Again, Suns are the Suns. But again, man, I would love to see these two in here. Again, first time matchup. It's first for everything. See, as you can see, most of these guys are back, and they got younger. Oh yeah, Frank Kaminsky is a tank. He's a tank. He knows how to ball. Yeah, I forgot. Bismack Biyombo left. He got picked up. So, yeah, great team, man. Oh yeah, this guy here again, Jay Crowder again, clutch shooter, defense, slow you down. Yeah, solid. Yeah, they're playing their best basketball. This has been the best 2 years for them. And Chris Paul, all Chris Paul been doing is just resting. Golden State, up here. Not much needs to be said about Golden State. We all know how the Warriors get down. Now the only questionable thing is Klay Thompson. Can Klay Thompson be that guy? But like the Phoenix Suns, again, they have an excellent stacked up bench. Look, Otto Porter Jr. We all know about Looney, but Wiggins has played much better. Wiggins is one of the most improved. We all know about Draymond Green. Okay, you know about the Splash Brothers, but yeah, look at the bench. But this guy here, I like him too. Nemanja Bjelica, I like him. Guy Moses Mooney's even been coming through. Now Andre Iguodala, I don't expect much from him. He's an older veteran. Iguodala's just there to retire. But yeah, man, like solid team. Like these guys here, and Gary Payton Jr. Again, give him a lot of credit. That's their Jordan Clarkson, pretty much. Gary Payton came out of nowhere. This is the son of the glove, Gary Payton. Thus, the name Gary Payton II. Yeah. His father taught him well. He's a second-generation basketball player. Just like Curry is. So this is interesting, man. Oh, yeah, and you got James Wiseman, too? Yeah. Not much needs to be said. We know about the Splash Brothers. You cannot count Steph Curry out. You just can't. You have to respect Curry. And they're third seed. Yeah, see, unlike Boston, Golden State don't have the same problems as Boston do because Steph Curry's proven. Him and Klay are proven. Yeah, I say they can get to the Western Conference Finals, and especially Denver. They should be able to beat Denver. They're gonna sweep Denver. I'm gonna call that a sweep. But again, like I said, man, Denver can slow them down. What Denver's gonna have to do is they got to guard the 3-point shot and just slow them down inside the paint. Because Jokic ain't gonna have no problems handling Wiseman. So that's the thing. Denver has veteran big men. But the only way Denver survives them, they're going to have to slow them down. Like I said, they're going to have to play bully ball. Because Denver's bigger than them in size. But yet, the only thing is, yeah, even though Golden State has advantage offensively, defensively, Denver can bully them in the paint. And again, when Steph Curry misses that 3-point shot or Klay starts going cold, Denver can capitalize off that. But it's Steve Kerr at the end of the day. So yeah. I got Golden State definitely handling Denver. I say Denver maybe only be maybe 2 games. It's gonna be 4-2 Golden State in that series. Cleveland, right here. Yeah, Cleveland's right here, man. Very exciting team. Let's look at the roster that got Cleveland there. Because this is definitely a step up. This is definitely a change. They're a 7th seed. Yeah, like Minnesota, they're definitely approved. Yeah, I like what Cleveland's done. Dan Gilbert has done it again. Evan Mobley has become their the new LeBron James as far as the draft pick. He's the 3rd best draft pick behind LeBron and Kyrie. But look at the team they got. So marketing can hit. You still got Kevin Love. He's a veteran big man. Kevin Love can still do damage. But Jarrett Allen, Karis LeVert, great pickup. It's like I said, this is gonna be a fun team to watch. So you got Karis LeVert, Jarrett Allen, you got Evan Mobley is balling. Darius Garland, this guy has really stepped up because Colin Sexton's been hurt all year. This guy here has become the new point guard. Do not be shocked if they decide to trade Sexton. Sexton may be gone. They may decide to trade that guy because they don't need him no more. Garland has become that guy. Dean Wade can also ball out. Yeah, very good team. And Davis, he's an older veteran. He can still get down, but yeah. Very exciting team to watch. Ray John's pretty much done too. This guy's pretty much done. He's just there for a paycheck. Yeah, Ray John's just there to give them moral support. He's pretty much there to do what Udonis Haslem does with the Heat. That's all it is. He's just there to mentor these guys. But again, Allen, this dude here, and Evan Mobley, you got to be careful of. That's starting to become their big 3. And Karis LeVert can still do something. Yeah, it didn't work out with him in Indiana, but with this This Cavalier team may be different. So yeah, I like these guys a lot. Very exciting. Now I don't see Cleveland getting out the first round at all, because again, you got to play the Bucks. That they're gonna get swept. But yeah, this is gonna be a fun team to watch. Boston, I'm gonna put them down here, man. I'm just gonna be very honest, man. Boston, I just don't know. I'm sorry, dude. I don't trust Boston at this point. And then let's see who they gotta play. Yeah, they gotta play Bulls. Matter of fact, yeah, even though they're a second round team at this point, they can still beat the Bulls. I'm gonna still give them the credit. They can still beat this team because again, Tatum and Brown, they've been around longer, right? They got better chemistry. But again, like Bulls can still put up that set, but let's just leave these two there for now. Let's look at the Celtics roster. Let's look at who Boston's working with. Because they do have Brad Stevens, the GM, they have a different head coach. But let's see what you're working with. They'll beat Washington. Thies is good defender. All right, Brown and Tatum. Now Derek Wright might be interesting. Okay, Derek Wright might be interesting. Stauskas can ball. Marcus Smart, Marcus Smart's one of the best defensive guards. Al Horford, I don't expect much from Horford. Horford's kind of declining too. He's kind of at the end of his career, and that's a problem too. Al Horford is not what he used to be, but I do like Grant Williams. Grant Williams is very strong. Okay, he could do a little something there. But yeah, Tatum and Brown, these two players, dude, like these two are going to be again, like the only problem with these two, again, they have problems. They have their flaws, but look for those two to be the main two guys. Derek Wright could definitely play well, and then you got Marcus Smart. So yeah, it's Smart, White, and these two. And Stauskas, right? If the bench could put up a decent amount, if the bench could keep them in the game, at least within 3 or 4, they survive. Like this said, don't be surprised if this game, if a couple of these games go in overtime, because Chicago's gonna really fight them. I'm gonna tell you that now. Them going against DeRozan is not gonna be easy. And again, let's be honest, they have choked the last 5 years. Yeah, Boston could just easily lose. That's what I'm saying. They got a lot of flaws. Now the spread might be maybe in Chicago's favor. Philly's right here, and the only reason why I'm not putting Philly, well, let's do this, right? The only thing that's gonna hold Philly back is Doc Rivers. Let's look at the Sixers. 4 seed, right? They'll beat this Raptor team with no problem. They'll beat the Raptors. I say Doc Rivers wins this game because he knows how to get out the second round. But let's look at who they got. And I like Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is up there for MVP. These two going to have to be the guys. You know what I'm saying? These two are going to really start. They got to at least put up. All right, these two are going to they got the gas out. Danny Green is a nice shooter. So you got 3-point shooter in Danny Green. We know what Shea Milton can do. This guy Matisse is good. Toby, yeah, that's your big three. Your big three is Embiid, Toby, and Harden. That's something. That's the equivalent of a Garnett, Allen, and a Pierce. Again, Doc Rivers has no excuses at all. And then you got Paul Millsap in that trade. Paul Millsap is a quality, is a solid backup. Yeah, no excuses. You got 3-point shooting, you got some rebound, and you got defense. We all know how hard to get down. Harden's the best one-on-one players, and he's fully healthy this season. These two are serious about winning a championship. So if Philly wants to get a chance to get to the finals, Doc Rivers gonna have to come up with a good plays. Doc Rivers can't be out-coached. Georges Niang is also good for it. So yeah, the only thing holding this team back is Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, I'm sorry, man. If you lose, now if Doc Rivers lose again this year, he needs to retire. If this team lose in the finals, if they lose either in the 3rd or 2nd round, fire Doc Rivers. I'm just gonna be very honest. It's gonna be time for him to go. Because how many chances are you gonna give that guy? Right? How many chances? Miami, I'm gonna put them up here. And I say that because again, like I mentioned before, man, Miami is stacked. They're the number 1 team on the East. Now I ain't even gotta look at the standings. This team could get to the finals. Eric Spoelstra is the best coach on the Eastern Conference. I'm gonna say it now. Eric Spoelstra, like he's officially the best coach. Like I said, not much more needs to be said about Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra's legacy is cemented. You got Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is way better than Goran Dragic. We can all agree. Victor Oladipo, if he could get back healthy, he'll be good. You got PJ Tucker, finals veteran. Okay, we all know about Jimmy Butler. He's up there for MVP. You still got Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. Right? Again, 3-point, like this is what the best 3-point duo. This is their Eastern Conference Splash Brothers. Marquise Morris Trent, veteran, another veteran player that's won a championship. So yeah, very exciting team. Right? Dwayne Dedmon is a good defensive backup. Yeah, very good team. Yeah, Eric Spoelstra could get to the finals. Yeah, that might be the team. It might be them and I say it comes down to in the playoffs, it's gonna come down to these two teams facing Phoenix. Or Golden State, like I say, again, because you can't knock Golden State at all. You can't. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's do that. Because again, Memphis is good, but remember, Memphis is this is their first time in. It's only so much they could do, but I'm gonna give Golden State their respect. It's gonna be between this is how it's gonna look, man. Because one thing about Steph Curry in these playoffs, he goes off. You got Clay back, you got the Splash Brothers back, so you can't knock that. So that's how it's looking. That's just the way that's how I got it. So again, man, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank you so much for being a part of the channel. And for those that have subscribed to me, this means a lot. And I'm curious to see what y'all think. Tell me what you I want to see your opinion and who's your favorite team. But yeah, that's it. And as always.